What if I told you your phone company is running what would be considered fraud in almost any other industry, and they're doing it to you right now, every single billing cycle, completely legally, because they're betting on one thing that you will never actually check? Here's the claim. Sit with it for a second instead of scrolling past it. You're being charged for a service you're not fully receiving, on a bill that was deliberately engineered to be confusing enough that paying it feels easier than questioning it. That's not hype to keep you watching. That is the documented, industry-wide business model of American wireless carriers. By the end of this video, you will know the exact line on your bill where this happens. You'll know the names of the specific companies quietly offering you the identical service for a fraction of the price. And you'll know the real dollar amount you can put back in your pocket, starting this week. But first, you need to see the number that makes all of this real. If you're an average American household, you're spending somewhere around $1,365 a year on mobile service, up from $1,275 just 2 years ago. Stop and actually think about that jump. Nothing about delivering your data got more expensive in that window. No new towers went up because of you specifically. No extra spectrum was invented overnight to justify a price hike. So where did that extra $100 a year actually go? Stick with me. The answer is sitting on your bill right now, and I'm about to show you exactly where to find it. Pull it up, I mean that literally. Open your carrier's app or your last statement while you're watching this, because in the next 90 seconds, you're going to check one specific line, and what you find is going to bother you. If you're a typical family, you're paying around $244 a month combined across your lines. Now find the section that says something like taxes, fees, and surcharges. Found it? Here's what's actually hiding inside that one label. Part of that number is real. A federal charge called the Universal Service Fund gets legally passed on to you, and that part isn't the scandal. The scandal is what sits right next to it. Carriers routinely stack their own extra markup directly on top of that real government fee, folding both under the exact same vague wording, so you have no realistic way of telling where the actual tax ends and their pure profit begins. That is not an accident. That is a design decision made by people whose entire job is making sure you never ask about that one line. And it compounds. Every single time you've switched phones or added a line, you likely paid a $25 to $35 activation or SIM fee for a process that takes their own system a matter of seconds and costs them next to nothing to execute. Upgraded more than once in the last few years? You paid that exact fee more than once for the same nothing, every time. And you never questioned it, because it's labeled just plausibly enough to look routine. Picture the version of you 3 years ago, standing in a carrier store, upgrading a cracked phone, signing a screen without reading it, trusting that the number on the receipt was simply the cost of staying connected. That's not carelessness. That's the system working exactly as designed. Nobody reads the fine print on a phone bill. That's the entire strategy. But here's the part of this video that's actually going to change what you do after it ends, because it's the part your carrier is genuinely hoping you never learn. You do not need them to get their exact signal. You already know the big three: AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. What most people don't know is that a whole category of smaller providers, called MVNOs, don't build their own networks at all. They lease space directly on those exact same towers and resell you the identical signal for a fraction of the sticker price. This isn't a workaround or some gray market trick. It's literally corporate structure. Mint Mobile runs entirely on T-Mobile's own network. Visible is Verizon's own MVNO, owned and operated directly by Verizon. Cricket is AT&T, full stop, no middleman involved. Same bars, same coverage map, same 5G bands as the flagship carrier you're currently overpaying. Different name on the app, wildly different number on the receipt. Let's put hard numbers on what that actually means, because vague, you could save money talk is worthless without math. A typical major carrier unlimited plan runs around $60 a month before fees, and once those hidden surcharges land, you're often closer to $75 or $80 out the door for one line. Now look at the alternative running on the identical network. Visible offers unlimited data on Verizon's network for $25 a month, taxes already included, no surprise line item waiting to appear later. Mint Mobile offers unlimited service on T-Mobile's network for as low as $15 a month prepaid annually, or roughly $40 month to month. Cricket runs full AT&T priority service for $60 unlimited, or as low as $35 for a smaller tier. Let's make this concrete with two real scenarios, because vague savings talk means nothing without a number attached to a real person's situation. Scenario 1. You're a single line on a major carrier, paying $80 a month once fees are included. You switch to Visible on the same Verizon towers. New cost, $25 a month. That's $660 saved in year one alone. Do nothing else. No new phone, no new number, no new behavior, just a different name charging you for the identical signal. Scenario 2. You're a family of 4, each paying that same $80 a month across 4 lines. $320 a month, $3,840 a year, before you've even accounted for the fee stacking we already walked through. Move the whole family to Cricket on AT&T's own network, running around $100 a month total for 4 lines once you factor in multi-line discounts most people never ask about. That's roughly $1,200 a year instead of $3,840, a $2,640 difference for a family on the exact same network, doing nothing except opening one app and switching who gets paid. That's the difference between a rounding error and real money, and it comes from the same 5 minutes of checking either way. Now, before you pause this and cancel your plan in the next 5 minutes, I owe you the part most creators conveniently leave out, because I'm not going to sell you half a decision and let you discover the catch later. There is one real trade-off, and it's called deprioritization. During genuinely congested moments, a packed stadium, a busy downtown block at lunch, a highway interchange at rush hour, the major carrier's own full-price subscribers get network priority, and standard MVNO plans get pushed slightly behind them in that specific moment. For the vast majority of people, in the vast majority of daily life, that difference is completely invisible. And even that gap has a fix now. Premium tiers like Visible Plus exist specifically to buy back full network priority for less than the major carrier charges outright for the exact same thing. So the real homework isn't should I switch? It's 5 minutes checking the coverage map for your specific area and deciding whether the standard or priority tier actually fits your life. There's one more layer almost nobody checks, and it might matter more than the carrier switch itself. If your household income falls under a certain threshold, a federal program called Lifeline exists specifically to provide free or deeply discounted phone and data service, dramatically underused, largely because carriers have zero financial incentive to ever bring it up. Separately, your phone already has Wi-Fi calling and Wi-Fi data offloading built in right now, quietly routing your calls and browsing through Wi-Fi instead of your paid cellular data the instant you're connected. At home, at work, at a coffee shop, anywhere you already spend hours of your day. Checking Lifeline eligibility takes about 5 minutes on the program's official site, and even if you don't qualify this year, it's worth checking again if your situation ever changes, because carriers are not going to volunteer that information to you at any point. The same goes for Wi-Fi offloading. It's usually buried one menu deep in your phone's settings, already switched on by default, and most people have never once looked at what it's actually been quietly saving them without their knowledge. Turn on Wi-Fi offloading everywhere you already spend most of your day, and you may not even need the higher data tier you were paying extra for in the first place. Qualify for Lifeline on top of that, and the number drops even closer to 0. Here's the real answer to the question you clicked on. You are not overpaying because data is expensive to deliver. You are overpaying because confusion is enormously profitable, and every minute you don't check that one line on your bill is a minute working in their favor, not yours. You just spent a few minutes checking. Now go check the real thing. Pull up your actual bill, find that fees line, compare it directly against Visible, Mint, or Cricket on your exact network, and see the real number for yourself. What would be fraud anywhere else has just been sitting there, in plain sight, waiting for someone to actually read the bill. Today, that was you. If breaking down exactly where your money quietly disappears is useful to you, subscribe. There's more of this coming, and next time it might not be your phone bill.